Hi, we're Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast. And this show is going to be great this week, isn't it, Case?
It is. Welcome to our YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, turn on your notifications, comment, like the video so Jack doesn't get mad, and enjoy the show.
You have a birthday yesterday?
Yes.
How was it?
It's fine. Why are you asking me like that?
We're talking on the show now.
Oh, we're on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cold open?
Yeah. Thought it'd be about your birthday.
It was a nice birthday.
Good.
Jack was one of the first people to text me.
That's really nice. That's really nice of him.
How
I
did
said
you?
something nice, too.
You said something very nice, very kind. Katie was great.
Jack's a good boy.
Katie left me some booze.
Oh, she's a good gal.
You only said happy birthday to me because she told you to.
Not true.
Jack, did you hear about this?
I
I tried to stay away from this bad boy.
not true. I was going to tell you when I saw you, and
You saw me multiple times. Here's my qualm. Katie knows this. I don't like to make a big deal about my birthday. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, like I like to be
You
celebrated.
told everybody.
No, I didn't. Ebony told everyone. I didn't say a fucking word when I walked in. Ebony started singing, and then it started to trickle. And I told Katie, I said, the only person that I care that hasn't said anything to me is the person I probably spend the most time with here, which is Brandon. And what was beautiful, just, I don't know what the word is, symmetry? No. Synergy. Brandon and I were sitting in the lobby eating Chick-fil-A, and every single person that walked by said happy birthday to me, and every time Brandon just like looked down on the ground and was like, fuck, I really fucked this up, didn't I?
I gave you 5 nuggets.
He did give me 5 chicken nuggets.
Let me tell you.
That solves everything.
Let me tell you a secret about me.
What is it?
I'm terrible at saying 2 things.
I love you.
I love you and happy birthday.
Why?
I will not tell my mother I love her.
No,
it's
we've
a
been
weird,
a part of that.
Right. I won't.
What is it about happy birthday that freaks you
I
out?
don't
I can
know.
understand the I love you
I
thing.
don't
I mean, I
know.
personally don't understand it.
I don't know. It's some sort of barricade that I like.
This isn't therapy.
Right.
No, I'm sure it's...
Are they
I know
connected?
that about you, and I accept you nonetheless.
yeah.
What?
I accept him too. It was more. Well, he also got kicked out of Jersey Jerry's Army yesterday, and Jerry.
Do we have to keep doing this?
And Jerry tweeted yesterday.
yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
so it really was just more me busting Brandon's balls, but the whole office just did it for him without me having to say anything because he just simply didn't care.
I'm not sure. I told my wife happy birthday a couple of weeks ago.
He did tell me he hasn't finished his wife's birthday present yet, which I think was like a month ago.
It better be
It
handmade.
was October 13th.
It better be handmade.
Not handmade, but I'm gonna get her some jewelry. I just haven't had time. I haven't had a day to stop. When have I had a day to stop?
I mean, there's literally a text message from me to Casey saying that you have something else coming, but it's going to be probably after the season when I have time.
Yeah.
Was a warning.
Okay, well I don't have time either.
Did you tell your wife that?
Huh?
Or
My
did
wife understands.
Did
She lives in our 9-bedroom mansion because of what I do.
Have you told her though it's coming, or
Yeah,
just
of course I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Here
at
we
least
go.
she knows that.
Yeah, I told her. I said I have this X amount of money set aside. We're gonna take care of you, and
Okay.
when I get a Saturday, and we're gonna go.
Well, that's very
Yeah.
sweet. But no,
$38. That's
That's
how
a
much
lot of chicken nuggets.
It's money. How much money I set aside? Well,
no, that's for his wife.
yeah,
I know. It's a lot of chicken nuggets.
This is a lot. Of
I did
chicken
get
nuggets.
and Polynesian sauce,
No.
right? That's what I had.
Yeah,
Yeah, great
Ketchup.
birthday present.
that's.
you.
I maintain that's the best sauce at Chick-fil-A.
Original.
It's pretty high up there.
Chick-fil-A is better.
I don't like the Chick-fil-A
I think the
sauce.
Chick-fil-A sauce is overrated.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I gotta say it.
Heathens.
I like the Polynesian sauce.
I think it's very good. It reminds me of like
I had sweet and sour chicken last night. That red sauce they give you is
That's
underrated.
what I was about to say. That
Yeah.
sauce, you put that sauce on a lo mein,
Yeah.
stunning.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're not talking about college football.
Well, let's.
Well, we should do that. Yes.
Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness with Brandon Walker and Casey Smith, presented by High Noon Sunsets. In front of me, I've got the grapefruit and the lime and the passion fruit. All that's missing is the mango and the peach and the watermelon and the black cherry.
I was gonna see if you forgot one, but
I think I got them all.
You got them all.
Yeah.
But see that when you started saying it like that, it gave me immediate PTSD from Barstool versus America because
Right.
Jeff D. Lowe would say him that way.
Yeah.
He would say him much more robust than you just did.
I thought that was robust.
But every time all the flavors are named at once, I immediately get the chills.
It's a lot of choices.
It's a lot of choices, but we all know the peach is the best.
I still haven't tried the mango. I've heard great things about the mango.
Mango is very good. I did go to Factory 380 yesterday for happy hour for my birthday. They brought me out a High Noon on
I've
Fire.
never had the passion fruit. I'm going to try the passion fruit right now as we
Are
sit
you?
here. Yeah.
With a coffee, huh?
I've already had the coffee. So let's just try the passion
Who got
fruit.
me this coffee?
I did.
It says Thomas on it.
That's my first name.
You went and got the coffee.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, I didn't get it. I paid
But
for the coffee.
You
I,
Yeah,
only
but he
ordered
paid.
it. Someone
I
else
sent
sent
I
it.
sent
Well, I know
Malasek to
it's-
get it.
Well, I know your name is Thomas. But
And he said, make
Usually
sure
it
to
says
get
Jake
Casey
on there.
one. He
No, he-
said, make sure to get Casey one.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
that's very sweet. Thank
Forgot
you.
to get Katie one.
That's okay.
You want to share this?
Nah, I'm good though.
Y'all are taking away from the live tasting of the passion fruit for the first time.
Okay, taste it.
Here we go.
It's also warm, isn't it?
It's very warm. That's good. That's really good.
I will say with the High Noons,
It's made with real fruit, real juice.
the High Noons can be consumed without being super cold and still delicious. Obviously, everything
Right.
in that's meant to be cold tastes better when it's cold. You can do a lukewarm High Noon and it's just fine.
Passion fruit's an interestingly named fruit. It's almost cheating to call yourself passion something.
I
It
agree.
just sounds better.
What else?
But
calls
what is a
themselves
passion fruit?
I still don't know.
What is a passion
Or
fruit?
what even
It's
it's
a
supposed
fruit.
to taste like.
Well, I know, but like, what is it?
It's a fruit.
But what's it look like?
That.
I don't like the way that looks.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Well, that's what
In
it looks
real
like.
life?
Yeah.
See the lime, how it looks like a lime. See the grapefruit,
Can
how it
you-
looks like a
can you pull
grapefruit.
up what a- or I guess I have my phone in front of me. I need to see what a passion fruit looks like.
Cheese
I
and
don't.
rice.
I've never ate a passion fruit.
I
I don't
haven't
think.
either.
I'm a huge fruit
You
person.
know,
and
when you look at it,
Ew, I
I'm
don't know. I don't like
surprised
the way
that it's
shit-
called passion fruit because it is not appealing to the eyes.
That would set off my
yeah.
my
it-
phobia,
Your cluster thing?
Yeah.
tryptophobia.
Yeah. It looks. It's not.
I am very upset.
But
about
their
this.
drink is fantastic. Okay, so let's go on to college football.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about. Look at us. Huh? Look at us.
I look like I have no clue where I am in that photo.
That's pretty standard. All right, so we got you, we got Dave, we got me, we got Big Cat. We're headed to 410 South Clippert Street in Lansing, Michigan for Michigan State, Michigan. Did you see Dan Ravel's tweet just a second ago?
No.
I am actually blocked by Darren Ravel. So.
Okay.
Who
What-
Was
Hi,
that?
Kevin.
What did he say? Is he
He
saying we shouldn't
tweeted
go
out,
there?
if you're in East Lansing, Michigan, which pregame show do you want to go to? And he did a poll. Fox, Game Day, Barstool. And Barstool is handling business in the
is
poll
it?
right now. Yeah.
I'm gonna go retweet it.
It was at 50% to 44% to poor Fox was at 6%
well,
earlier.
I didn't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know Fox had fans there.
Well, I don't know if they do.
They sometimes
do they? Like, do they purposely?
They do. They have in the past.
They had some in
sometimes-
Chicago.
Yeah.
like one?
Yeah, because me and Katie walked by the Fox show when we were going
They
in the
did
stadium,
in
and they were like playing paper,
Oklahoma.
rock, scissors.
Oh yeah, no, we're still up, 52 to 42.
What's Fox polling at?
Six.
Oh, not great. Not great, Bob.
I'm very excited. I've never been to East
That's
Lansing
funny
before.
because Bob Stoops on the show.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob. I'm very happy about this. I will say I have a qualm with this graphic. Dave looks infinitely tanner than the rest of us.
I'm satisfied with the way I look. The beard's in nice.
You do have a nice
Yeah.
side profile. My hair looks good. But I'm expecting this show to be fucking wild because anytime we've ever done a Michigan game,
Right.
we've either been in Ann Arbor
Right.
or Madison, right?
Didn't you guys do an Ohio State one once
and
before
Ohio
I got
State-
here?
But we've never been to a Michigan game when they're good
Right.
at a rival.
Well, we'll see. I assume Dave will be in all his glory
Can you
Saturday.
imagine the booing that's going to happen?
It might happen, but I tell you what, I'm walking in there. I'm going to have my Spartan shit on.
Oh, I know. I'm wearing
Mr. Michigan
shit.
State here.
I'm wearing Michigan shit.
I'm Mr. Michigan State. I think they're going to win the game. That's
but you're also. Wait a minute.
what?
Have you been on this Michigan State thing because you're pandering?
No.
I've been on this Michigan State thing a while.
He said, yeah.
Even though, Jack, we've known for a long time we were going to go to this game.
No, well, let's go back and give credit
I mean,
where it's due.
He could have
Let's
thought that
let's-
far in advance, but I will say, I mean, he was featured in that Kenneth Walker video
Right. Remember?
about 3 weeks ago, and
his Heisman
for
reel.
2 to
Yes,
3
yes.
weeks, whenever I've brought up Michigan, he said Michigan State's going to beat him.
But
He
we-
could have, in his wrestling ways,
Pre-planned all this.
pre-planned
Yes.
all this, but to be honest, who really cares? Because
I'm also the
I think he
one-
does believe it too.
Behind the scenes, I'm also the one that caused this to happen. because about 4 weeks ago, we weren't planning to go anywhere this week.
Yes.
And I walked up to Dave. I said, Dave, you need to look at the calendar. I know we're not planning to go somewhere October 30th, but there's a chance both these teams are undefeated. We need to start making plans to go there. Brandon Walker did that.
Well, so you just helped my case that you've now been pandering since you mentioned that.
No. I started.
Jack's on your
No,
side.
I started noticing on my call-in show. I started noticing. You can tell when certain fans of teams are more engaged than others. I started noticing a heavy leaning of both Michigan and Michigan State fans in about week 3 or 4.
Okay.
They started to really start gathering and started using my show as battling back and forth. And I think Michigan State's a better football team than Michigan, and everybody else in the world thinks Michigan's better. If we're being honest, I really don't know how you separate the two at all, because really they're 6 of one, half dozen of the other. They're very, very similar. Their schedules are very, very similar. Neither really has a quarterback. They both have good running games. Like, they're very remarkably similar teams. So anything that we predict and to try to go into this game is kind of just flipping a coin, really.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. I've never been to East Lansing, Michigan. Obviously, we're flying in late as hell Friday night.
What time?
We're leaving here at like 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo. Do you realize how far the drive from Detroit is? You get to fly.
You really triggered Katie on that one.
Yeah, I didn't
You
mean
get to
to.
fly into East Lansing. We're assuming right near, like 15, 20 minute.
Just
You have nearly a
relax.
2-hour drive from Detroit to
Just
East
relax.
Michigan.
Hey,
I'm very relaxed.
chill out.
You're privileged. I'm humbling you in your privilege.
We are privileged. I think he's probably more upset we don't get to go eat anywhere.
Oh no, we're taking care of that too. You just sit back.
Did you see the?
Did you? Hold time. Did you see who gave me a food recommendation yesterday?
Who?
So I tweeted out Sunday. I was like, "Hey, any East Lansing food recommendations?" And then, of course, there's the 100 Twitter accounts that think they're funny. Oh, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, all that and stuff. And then it lived on to Twitter for about a day. And yesterday, I'm on the Yak and I'm sitting there next to Big Cat. I get a notification. Jamel Hill replied.
Shut the fuck up.
Jamel Hill replied.
Does she know who you work for?
I don't know. And she gave me like 4 restaurants, and I said thank you. It was a very pleasant interaction. I appreciate it very much.
She must not know who you work for.
That's fine, but maybe she does, and maybe she just
She just wanted to help you out.
trying to be a helpful person.
That's very nice of her.
Yeah. So Jamel Hill.
Are we gonna go where one of her recommendations?
Well, I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Did you see in the group text what I sent?
No, I don't really read the group text very much.
So Fran's sister, Gia,
Right.
huge Michigan
Fran's
State
sister,
person. Yeah, Fran's sister,
She went
Gia.
there.
She went there. She sent me a ton of recommendations, which I screenshot and put in the group text so you would see, which you
I
clearly
think
didn't
maybe
see.
the Peanut Room or something, the Peanut Gallery, the
Black
Peanut
Hat
Hill, the Peanut Hall.
Bistro,
yeah,
the
what were
peanut-
they?
Barrio, Beggar's Banquet.
I mean,
The
I'm
peanut-
not
Hopcat.
going, so I didn't look at any of these.
That's
but
fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack.
If it were up to me, you'd go.
Yeah, I know.
But see, I don't think Jack wants to go.
Casey has been adamant. Do not add
No,
Jack.
you know that's not true.
I have
No,
been like,
that's
can
not
Jack
true.
go? Can Jack
That's
go?
not
Can Jack
true.
go?
I know that's not true.
It's not true.
I'm just saying I did see.
Chia's text messages.
No,
The
I
other
saw
day I
that,
was-
and then I saw Jamel Hill's responses.
That is. You could have given me 100 names.
Are you jealous that me and Jamel Hill
No,
are friends now?
I thought Jamel
You
Hill
just
hated
responded.
Barstool.
Thank you.
I did. I was like, I didn't know what to
I'm gonna-
respond. I was like, okay,
Did she
thanks.
go there?
Yeah, she went to
Okay,
Michigan
I
State,
didn't
yeah,
know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like it.
The Jamel Hill tweet?
The one of you saying thank you, so she knows that I also am thankful that she did that.
Oh, you're gonna bandwagon on my
Yes.
niceness.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So we got a lot to talk about today because I told you last time I was a little frustrated last week. I was all over the place. I was too tired, and my Tuesday shows haven't been as good as our Saturday shows. So I want to.
You're so much harder on yourself than I like. You're outing yourself.
No, I care about what we put out.
I care about what we put out too, and I think the shows have been good. Have they not been?
Some days I know when it's great. Some days I know when it's
Are
less
you
than
reading
great.
comments?
No, Jack,
Yeah,
did I
she
not
totally
text you
is.
like right after we did it last week?
No, yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah, I'm
and
like-
I have said to you in the past that I think the good thing that we do on Saturdays, we get right into.
Right.
But
well, we haven't
I
done that
have-
today.
Yeah, I know. But a little insight on unnecessary roughness. I also think a charm of ours is that we may not get into it. So it's like kind of I've gone back and forth with how we should handle it, and I think for the most part we've been good though.
All right, we're going to do two things real quick. We're going to go through the news, Then we'll look through the slate, and then I have 4 or 5 things we're gonna do.
Well, we're also gonna do. You sent us homework assignment.
I did.
We
and
did.
that's in the 4 or 5.
I
things.
like this that we have homework now.
and we got homework.
I gave him homework
early yesterday.
And we've
Yeah.
been asking for homework for a while.
I've been
For
thinking
like
about
years.
it.
Years.
I've been thinking about it.
So-
I gave you all
Years.
homework.
And so
And-
credit to Brandon because we've asked for it, and it wasn't just like, sometimes because that's how his brain works. He just
That's
he
fine.
plans last second. But
Fine.
yesterday he planned 36 hours in advance.
It was when I got the text message, I was stunned, and I was wondering if
So
you
we
hit
will
your
all unveil our top 10s later. We'll all unveil our top 4s and our top 3 Heisman favorites. Did you not do the homework?
head. I did two parts of it.
Yeah.
What happened? What?
She can say her top 10 live.
I forgot to send her my top 10. I sent her the other two.
You just bragged about me giving you homework, and then you
know,
didn't do it.
I just forgot to send it to her. I
You didn't
have
do the
it.
homework.
I understood the assignment.
Thank you, Jack.
I understood the assignment. I'm gonna be honest.
It was her birthday. Give her.
Yeah, thank
She gets
you.
a mulligan.
Thank you.
Next time you can rip her.
I say my top 10 every week.
So, I want to go through all 5 power conferences, and I want to discuss who the happiest fan base in that conference
I
is,
like
and the
that.
saddest. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you the top 6 in the BeCAWS list. I've got a BeCAWS list today.
Oh.
Because list is
That's
Yeah.
that's making a
return.
The
comeback.
return of the BeCAWS list, yes. And I've got 6 names.
The same kind of BeCAWS list.
6 names that should be in the Heisman race, but they're not because of where they play.
You just said it right there.
What?
Because
You
said it right when you say it right in a sentence, but when you do the list.
So let me try this. This is the BeCAWS list, and it's these are players that deserve to be in the Heisman, but they're not because of where they play.
Yep.
Yep.
You said it right.
You said it
there.
right.
BeCAWS list,
You
it's different because of where they play.
Yep. Did it there.
All right.
Brandon.
Hi.
Hi. You know what you've been saying to me a lot?
Yeah, I could just knock somebody's head off.
No.
Oh.
Well, that too, but you've also noticed something about somebody in the office recently that you remind me every single day that you've noticed.
What have I noticed?
Somebody's looking pretty jacked these days.
Feitz's arms are insane.
So
Feidelberg's arms are not right. He's on steroids.
well, no, he's not on steroids.
I'm making that
he-
accusation right now.
Has a Lightboxer in his apartment.
Does he really?
He does, because Lightboxer sponsors KFC Radio, so they sent him a Lightboxer. He uses it
Wait,
once or
time.
I know, I kind of want one too.
Can I get a light boxer?
Well, I don't want it in my
Hey,
apartment.
producer,
Way to
can we
put
get
it,
get on that? Jack, can I get me a light boxer?
That's not. I have nothing to do.
I want
with
my
it.
arms to be jacked.
I was about
don't
to
say-
say he wants his arms to look
Are
like.
you
have
going to
to
use
change
it
your
for longer than you
genetics.
use your personal trainer for?
Yes, I used him for 2 months, and then my grandmother died.
Also, you know, we have a Lightboxer here you could use.
I don't want to make noise.
Okay, well, Lightboxers are
That's
awesome.
a new one.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
mean-
That's why
That's true.
that's the only reason I don't have sex in the office. I don't want noise.
Oh God.
Back to the ad.
Okay, well, so back to Lightboxer. That John Feidelberg has been using his Lightboxer a lot. I love the Lightboxer here. I love doing the ads. If you don't know what it is, it's an at-home boxing. Basically, it's you can box somebody's face
Right.
on this Lightboxer. It has lights that you punch. They have different sizes.
It has punching pads, and it's not as cumbersome as a heavy bag.
It's not a heavy bag, and it's like Dance Dance Revolution, but for boxing.
With
'cause
your
you have-
fists, yeah.
And you have a personal trainer on an iPad with music. You can set it to whatever you want. They can tell you what to do, or you can just freestyle on it. They've got DJs. I mean, everybody's using Lightboxer right now. It's like the hottest thing in the streets, and you don't really realize how hard it is until it's over, and then you look at somebody like John Feidelberg, and you're like, oh, this workout absolutely works. Look how big his fucking arms are. So Brandon, you should get on your Lightboxer.
Oh, I'm emailing someone right now.
So if
I'm
you go to
emailing,
lightboxer.com/walker right now, you can get $200 off your purchase. Use the code Walker at checkout. You get $200 off of your Lightboxer. I love Lightboxer. You can listen to Lil Wayne, which I choose. There's Bieber, Post Malone, The Weeknd, so much more. You can do beginner. You can do... There's all sorts of difficulty levels. I love to box. We all know that. I'm a big boxer. I've said that a lot. Lightboxer is my new favorite thing. Again, lightboxer.com/Walker. Get $200 off. Use the promo code Walker and look like John Feidelberg.
Well, his arms, not the rest of him.
Not the mustache.
So I have 2 becauses is
Yes.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Two
we're going
in
to
your
do all that.
holster.
But let's start with Texas Tech.
Yes.
They fired Matt Wells, Texas Tech's head coach.
From
which
the
is
clouds.
just on a Monday, just said they're firing Matt Wells. Now, they did have a collapse the other day against Kansas State. They were up big, and they ended up losing. But they also were 5-3. They're 5-3. They had beaten Houston to start the season. Stephen F. Austin, Florida International. You know, the Houston win's pretty good. They're 6-1.
I would say that's a really good win.
Really
and
good
even
win.
the FIU win's not bad.
And then they lost to Texas. They beat West Virginia. They lost to TCU. They beat Kansas. And then they lost to Kansas State 25-24. But the only loss, losing to Texas, no shame in that.
But they got their ass kicked.
Losing
by
to
Texas.
TCU, no, it's not great. And then losing to Kansas State, not great. But you're firing a guy because of this?
Well, they
Now-
also almost fired him last year.
Now, their last 4 games doesn't look pretty. They have Oklahoma,
doesn't.
then they got Iowa State, then they got Oklahoma State, then they got Baylor. There's 4 ranked teams in the Big 12. That's their 4
It's only
remaining
his third
opponents.
year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he hasn't been there long. But to me, this smells of we've already got our guy. This smells of they have been talking and they found somebody that they want, and they know they can get him.
Do you have a name in mind?
I have a last name in mind.
No.
It's not a last name that you're gonna love.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh, I've heard
Kindle?
Art.
Bryles.
I know, but you think it's going to be Kindle or Art?
6 of one, half dozen of the other again. I think
I don't think
Kendall
Art-
Bryles will eventually be a head coach. It could be Art.
I've heard
I
more
could see
Sonny
Kendall.
Dykes than Art Bryles or
Who?
Kendall. I've seen more names are listed as Sonny
But why
Dykes.
would they do Sonny Dykes?
I don't know.
He was like,
right.
He's already done the Power 5 thing. I know you give him another chance, but
Wow.
and I know it was Pac-12 and Cal, but
There's
I don't
nothing
know.
sexy about Sonny Dykes.
Yeah,
and if you hire Sonny Dykes, whatever, you hire him in December. I don't think you fire a coach in October because you got Sonny Dykes lined up.
Sonny Dykes, I just don't.
But do you do that for Art Bryles?
Oh yeah, for sure. And
also if there's a school that Art Bryles is going to come to,
right,
and
Yeah.
Texas Tech would be perfect because they're kind of, you can wrap that underneath a carpet that it's just like, oh, whatever.
they're out there by themselves.
Yep, they're in Lubbock. It's
They're
just like,
they're not really a name. You have to kind of get creative if you're Texas Tech to get a coach out there. You might have to go get a coach out of the bargain bin. You might have to get a coach who has some dings, who has some imperfections, right? You're not going to go to the coach store and buy a perfect, beautiful coach. Art Bryles, great coach with some dings and imperfections. I don't
pretty
know
big
that it's Art Bryles, but
you know what I will say? Kendall Bryles, he is going to get a head coaching job. I don't know if Art Bryles, I guess obviously he can, but do you really think it's going to be a Power 5 school that just is like, well, fuck it, we're going to take him?
yeah, I do.
if they think they can, think he can win.
I guess.
Also, just imagine the opportunity that's in the Big 12 right now. Like, if you're Texas Tech, you're 5-3, right? And you decide, okay, we're probably not going to win again, so let's change up because the Big 12 is about to be flat out up for grabs for many years. Like Oklahoma and Texas are leaving. They're leaving. You assume Oklahoma State jumps into that void, maybe a Baylor or somebody like that. But if you're Texas Tech, you get a guy who in 2 or 3 years can get up and running. You can grab the number 1 spot in the Big 12.
Also, like Houston's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're right there with you now.
Yeah.
They're in the
Right.
Big 12. Houston's coming. And then obviously, it's BYU, Houston,
Cincinnati, and
UCF.
Yeah,
But Houston's the big one because that's
They're in your
another.
state.
And they probably already
huge recruiting hub.
They probably already are competing with Houston for big time recruits.
Absolutely.
And not big time, but for them.
For
But
that
now that they're in
level,
the
yeah.
Big 12, you have to separate yourself somehow. I have seen Dana Holgerson's name thrown around. I don't know why he would go to Texas Tech.
Not when he's about to be in the Big 12
yeah,
anyway.
And he already left.
Houston, I think, has more money. I think it's just a bigger school. I could be wrong. Don't get mad
My
at me.
question with Texas
there
Tech-
is a lot of
Yeah.
oil money at Texas Tech, but I would assume Houston has more.
My question
just
with
'cause it's
Texas Tech
Houston.
is, hey, do you realize their last 2 coaches before this? One is a 7-0 NFL coach. One's a sitting U.S. senator.
I was
Yeah.
quite literally about
And then
to
the guy
say,
before that,
Cliff Kingsbury got fired because he was just mediocre
right.
there, and 3 years later, they're now the only undefeated team
In the NFL. Yeah.
I
It's-
completely forgot about the Tommy Tuberville era at Texas Tech.
yeah, everybody does.
I also didn't know he won.
Who?
He's actually in
Oh, yeah,
Congress.
he's
he's a senator, yeah.
He's a senator.
Tom
Senator?
Tuberville's a senator.
I didn't know he
He's
won.
one of the 100 senators.
Yeah, state of Alabama.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
Truly is.
It's a bizarre
Yeah.
career arc, I'd say.
Oh.
I worked with him when he was at Cincinnati.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just a little anecdote, you know.
That was a little anecdote.
He lost to UConn a few times.
Also another anecdote.
All right.
Just
So-
so you know.
Okay.
One of the 100 senators of our nation
It's
has
that's
lost
a good
to
fact.
UConn.
It's a big fact.
Okay, we can move on from Texas Tech. So here's the fun part of these jobs. When you just get random ex-NFL coaches or random NFL coaches that are just linked to these jobs inexplicably. Ex-NFL coach and this is from Brett McMurphy, who's a great reporter. Ex-NFL coach, USC alum Jeff Fisher is in the mix for USC's coaching position, source told Action Network HQ. On Monday, former USC quarterback Carson Palmer said candidates include Penn State's James Franklin, Iowa State's Matt Campbell, Cincinnati's Luke Fickell, and Steelers coach Mike Tomlin. I like to say Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was about to say Cincinnati.
I don't like that at all.
I love saying that. I love saying Cincinnati. I love saying hurricane. Those are two words I like.
Hurricane?
Hurricane.
Did you know that we're supposed to have an atmospheric river today?
Well, that was over at San Francisco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's apparently
For the
supposed to
game.
be coming to us.
What is that?
It's a made-up word. It's a new word for weather.
I think it's basically a path of rain.
Well, that's two words that I already knew.
Well, no, do you remember a few years ago when the bomb cyclone became a
Right,
thing?
yeah.
We were like, well, that's just
I
made
think
up.
it's close to that.
Now it's an atmospheric river.
Yeah, I think it's
Atmospheric
close to like a cyclone. Or
It's like meteorologists just want to come up with
they
these
gotta do
names.
It's
something.
always evolving the game, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
It's like,
so
10 years ago, nobody knew what an RPO was.
Yeah.
10 years ago? I mean, it's got to be more.
15, maybe.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what
Now
RPO was.
that's the most overused
Right, yeah.
thing ever on the planet. Why would Jeff Fisher be in this mix? I understand, yes, he went to USC, but like he's not a hot name in the NFL right now.
Oh, no, of course he's not.
Right.
I would say he's a
cold name.
Like, I mean, because he went to USC.
Right,
And
but
when
like-
these guys are putting these things together, they say, who's the USC who has USC ties. But I just don't understand. USC can't take a guy that's never coached college football. However, I mean, there were one dynasty in our lifetime happened with a coach who hadn't coached college football. Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
Speaking
but
of,
why not Pete Carroll?
why not Pete Carroll?
And it's kind of falling
And the
apart out in
Seahawks are-
It
Seattle.
kind of stinks in Seattle right now. Why not Pete
and
Carroll?
then
Run
no
that
Russell
back.
Wilson.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Are we completely abandoning the Urban Meyer?
Yes.
I don't think USC would take that black guy.
But I don't
publicly.
think it's a black guy. I just think he's in the NFL now for at least a year.
They
Maybe.
stink.
Maybe, but somebody's gonna. I think LSU will try.
I mean,
They're
they're
going to talk to him. I don't know if USC will talk
Well,
to him.
Tomlin's the most interesting thing because he was also brought up for LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is his name being thrown around?
That I don't know.
'Cause
Now he
this-
was very direct in saying, never say never today, but never. I will never do that.
Yeah.
I don't really
He
understand
got
why.
really mad when it got brought up. It was weird.
I don't know why, but he's got a point. Like, he has a great job. The Steelers,
Right.
a
I
top
agree.
10 franchise in sports. He's their coach. He's been their coach for a long time. Plus, he doesn't have to call 16-year-old boys at night.
Right.
No, it's bad. I would
That's
say
not creepy.
That's what
Yeah,
college
but
football is.
I know. I understand that. Yeah, I don't know why if you were Mike Tomlin you would leave. To be honest, I don't.
Well, you would. The only reason you would leave would be I see the walls caving in on me in Pittsburgh. Not that they necessarily are, but let's just say behind the scenes they are. And hey, it's not the worst gig in the world. You go out to USC. Yeah, you have to change your entire mindset on how you coach football because it's more like there's a lot more politics in college football than the NFL. It's not just
Absolutely.
football. But I could see why someone would do it, but it would be like
Mike Tomlin though. Like, I mean, yes, they were the worst, best team in the league, but they were 11-0 last year. Like, it wasn't.
I know, yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's obviously became fraudish, but like, it's not like the Steelers are. We're not talking about the Detroit Lions here. Like, I don't think Mike Tomlin's in trouble in Pittsburgh.
No, and I don't. When these pro coaches bore me when it comes to these jobs. Like, there's nothing sexy about Jeff Fisher. There's nothing. I don't even think Mike Tomlin would be sexy. I just get you
Urban Meyer would be.
Get you a good but he's not a pro coach. He is, but he's not. He's a college guy. Some guys are pro guys. Some guys are college guys. He's a college guy. I don't care how long he coaches in the NFL.
Just like Nick Saban.
Steve Spurrier was there for how long? He's still a college guy.
Oh yeah, no one thinks of Steve Spurrier as an NFL coach.
All right, so let's move on from that.
Wait, before we move on, if you had to be a betting man on this,
right?
Who is it going to be? Right
USC?
now. Right now, at 4:38,
I don't
Tuesday,
know.
October 26th.
I just don't know. I can't get a read on USC. Like LSU, I think is going to try to hire Franklin or maybe Fickell, or they're going to try for Urban. USC, I can't get a grasp on them. I think they're going to hire somebody that
We
just
don't
doesn't
expect.
fit. Just doesn't work. I think USC is
It's
going to
been
be cared
so
about
quiet,
image. They're going to
though.
care about, and they're just going to not hire
Oh,
a
I
very
don't-
good college football coach.
I don't think they're going to care about image.
I think they will.
I think that it's been so quiet for so long that I still feel like they're kind of waiting out what's going on in
Is
Jacksonville.
Matt Campbell going to get a job now? I mean, Matt Campbell's.
I don't know why
he seems like he's topped out at Iowa State.
Maybe, but to go to USC?
Oh yeah, he would.
I
yeah.
mean, for the money and stuff.
Of
but
course
like,
he would.
Yeah.
Well, would he?
I don't know.
He's turned down a lot of jobs. Is
and
USC...
you got to do a lot of rebuilding at USC.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I think you're right there.
I think you're.
I think you have a talented
I guess
roster.
the Pac-12 is.
And it's a funnel. It's a talent funnel.
And it's a funnel, and
Yeah.
you don't have
But
to
Matt
go
Campbell's
far.
also.
The biggest thing is you have elite talent there. It's going to take some
Yeah.
convincing to have them stay, but you have elite talent. And also, if you're good, I mean, LA does rally around USC. They almost rally around USC almost as much as they rally around, more than they rally around their NFL teams.
The Rams.
Yeah.
They not as much as the Lakers, but they're like number 2, maybe 3 after the Dodgers. Like they're right there.
If they're good, yeah.
If they're good, and
Yeah.
and it's like even celebs will come out to those games.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Will Ferrell will show up again. Let's go through the slate real quick.
Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Snoop
always
Dogg will
there,
definitely be there.
Yeah, Will Ferrell was
Zion, they
always
went to a
there.
game.
Okay, so we're going through this week. I think there's some good matchups. It's a good week. A couple took a little hit, like Penn State, Ohio State, not as sexy as it was. But there are some off the radar, like SMU Houston's a huge game for that conference. But I think the marquee game is the one that we're going to be at. It's
no question.
Michigan State. It's 2 undefeated teams. The possibility still exists, number 6 and number 8, that neither of them are good. That possibility absolutely exists.
Well,
Possibility
fine.
exists that both of them are really good.
Fine.
But I like it's still, they could both be, Penn State, who was just waiting to get exposed, or maybe in Iowa.
You mentioned the Penn State, Ohio State, it losing a little bit of shine because of what happened.
Right.
It's still, to me, Penn State is, I know how high on Ohio State you are, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be because they are firing on all cylinders offensively, but it still feels like to me like Penn State could be like, you know what, we kind of still want to fuck some things up.
They lost at home to Illinois.
I know, which I feel like makes that game more dangerous for Ohio State.
Ohio State's just been waiting to get back in the mix.
18.5 is a lot of points.
I don't care. For Ohio State's going to score 45-50 on everybody. I don't care how good your defense. Their offense is going now. It has 2 Heisman candidates, and that's not even including the receivers.
I would say 3.
Yeah, but Olave and Garrett Wilson aren't really in the mix right now. They would have to start popping off very soon. Travion Henderson is.
For sure.
CJ Stroud is.
But he already has 18 touchdowns?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And then there's a freshman on, I think, Houston, who's very good, the running back, who has like 12. And he has 2. He's second on that list, and then it's 18 and 12.
Maybe just relax.
What?
Why?
Don't give away the BeCAWS list.
Sorry.
Oh.
However, I'm just saying, like, we have some really good young running back
Yes.
talent across the country right now. Trevion's unbelievable. When he gets the ball, it's – but I kind of agree with you. This is – like, you never know with Penn State. However –
Right. They're not a better
game,
team.
If Ohio State wins by 35, then I'm like full. We'll get to our top 10 list.
Guys,
soon.
They're not a better team than Ohio State. I am by no stretch.
But here's the thing. Even their big wins this year, they scored 28 against Auburn at home. They scored
it's just a weird
17.
feeling.
I don't remember how many they scored against Wisconsin to open the season. 16, maybe 20,
16 to
14.
10, I think.
Yeah, it was a disgusting game.
It was a
that was
disgusting
such a
game.
disgusting
Like
game.
even at their best, I just don't know if they can they score 24 points.
Probably not, but I'm saying that had Penn State won last week, I would have sat here and said Ohio State's going to absolutely just murder them.
I don't understand this logic you're using at all.
Because it's just that weird, tricky, tough thing that you have. Like, I think Ohio State is going to win, but I feel like because everyone's like, oh, well, Penn State lost to Illinois. They stink now. This game's going to – there's a weird feeling surrounding it more to me. Ohio State's by far the better team, but I'm not ready to just say that game doesn't matter at all.
I will go ahead and tell you right now, to me, that game doesn't matter. Ohio State's about to beat the piss out of Penn State.
All right.
That's what I think.
They should.
All right, so Michigan State, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Neither has a great quarterback. You have Peyton Thorne on one side. You have Cade McNamara, who probably going to get benched in this game. He's been getting benched in most games this year. And then J.J. McCarthy comes in, the talented freshman for Michigan. You know, do I trust – is it 4.5 right now?
Yeah.
So it's still at
Yes.
4.5? I just adore Michigan State in this game.
Well, you've been adoring Michigan State.
I do. I just they're at home, and I think that matters here. I think that matters a lot because Michigan isn't explosive offensively. Michigan doesn't have a good quarterback. Does that kind of team travel well on the road? They haven't had to go on the road in a tough spot. They went to Nebraska, and they won 32-29 when they got a fumble late from Adrian Martinez. This is the toughest spot they will have been in all year. Toughest spot for both of them.
Definitely. And it's I hate, we've talked about it on this podcast with multiple different teams, the little brother thing. Like, I hate it. Now, I'm playing into it for Dave's sake for this game. But there is that feeling where it's like, okay, we don't necessarily know how good these two teams are. Everybody's kind of on a side at this point. I know Jack and I are squarely on Michigan. You, Michigan State. Katie, where did you land on this?
I'm on Michigan, I think.
Okay, so
I'm the only one by myself on Michigan State.
And I think you're going to be the only one on the college football show, too.
That's fine.
I'm just letting you know. However, when you don't know how good Michigan is, you don't know how good Michigan State is, but you're going into East Lansing and it's the little brother syndrome.
Right.
Those things usually play a big factor for.
Okay, well, that little brother shit's a big old crap ton of bullshit.
Right.
What?
It's
I
bullshit.
agree. I agree with that.
Because look over the last 15 years, little brother has owned their ass.
That's not true.
They're 9-4 the last 13 years.
Not in East Lansing, at least.
I don't care about that. They're 9-4 in the last 13 years against Michigan. They have owned this series over the last 10, 15 years. They're not little brother.
Yeah, so 13, but extend that to 20
These aren't
years.
big brother and
It's
little
9
brother.
and 9.
These aren't big brother and little brother. These are twins.
yeah, but
these are twins.
Yes, but
Michigan's just so much better. It's
At what?
at everything.
No, they're not better at everything.
Historically, they are, yes.
They're the bigger school, the better football program, everything.
The better football program if you go back 100 years, yes. If you go back 40 years,
here's a
yes.
question.
But if you go back
No.
15 years, no.
Here's a question
But
for
if you go back 20, yes.
If both.
Which one
if
of these
both-
teams has been to the playoff?
If
it ain't Michigan.
Yeah,
It's
and,
Michigan
when
State.
one got fucking bukakied in the playoff.
Wow.
And one hasn't gone. One hasn't gotten close to
I know,
going.
I
but,
love
but
a
it's
good
just like
Bukkake reference.
I agree with you. They have gotten
You're using ancient history to justify
No,
this.
hold
Yeah,
on.
but then if JT Barrett was 1 inch short, they would have made it to the playoff, you know?
I have a question for both of you that'll help this argument. If Michigan and Michigan State both came open right now, what job is better?
Well,
Michigan.
Of course it's Michigan.
It's
not
Michigan.
even close.
Okay,
That's
well,
not
then
really-
there's- then-
that
then-
has nothing to do with what's going to happen this
But that-
Saturday, and
but
we're
that-
acting like Michigan.
No, what we're talking
You
about.
were just talking about the
yes,
last 15 years, and if
Yes.
the little brother stuff's is bullshit.
As somebody who has been called little brother in the rivalry that I've been a part of my entire life, I do think the term little brother is lame. I do think that it's like, all right, whatever. Like when you look at A&M in Texas and A&M being in the SC, whatever. However, when you are in one of those rivalries, Oklahoma State, whatever it may be, the person that is called little brother, the team that is called little brother does take it personally because it is an insult. It's a lame
it's an insult.
Huh?
Of course, it's an
Right,
insult.
but it's
and
like-
it doesn't mean anything.
But it feels like it means something.
It's just the way one team can act like they're better than they really are. Michigan hasn't been anybody's little brother for the last decade. Nobody's little brother or nobody's big brother. Excuse me.
Oh, but
Michigan
they think
football
they
ain't
are.
shit right now, and they're acting like they are. They're the same thing as Michigan State.
They're not the same thing as
They
Michigan
are
State.
the same fucking thing. They're both 7-0. Michigan State
this
beat them
year,
last
yes,
year.
But I'm saying now you are.
Who gives a fuck what happened 100 years ago? Or, obviously,
talking about
Michigan's a
100
bigger
years ago.
program. Obviously, Michigan has bigger history. Yes.
brother.
None of that.
So the big
Look
brother.
at his shit-eating grin.
None of that matters in 2021.
Okay, you're right. When they play on Saturday,
I
it
can't
won't matter
wait.
that much. However, Michigan's the big brother, and I'm sorry, it's just
But
across the board.
what does that matter on the field of play?
It doesn't. I know.
It
This
matter-
is this
it
is.
Why are we
matters-
talking
it
about
matters. You know where it
I
matters?
understand this.
It
This
matters.
hurts you because it brings up other things in your life.
Yes.
You're like
No, I'm the
people
same as
call
her.
you
I have
the
a
little
t-
brother when it
I
comes
have-
to Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I get it.
Yeah, but they're full of shit too.
I know. That's why you respect the Michigan State. Like you'd be a Michigan State.
I always
fan.
side with the state school. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't side with the team that's got
Yeah,
the rich
yeah, I get
alumni.
it.
I
I
side
get
with the
it.
state
I get
school.
it.
Yeah.
Here's where it matters on the field. Not actually for you, for me, for Jack, for Katie, for anyone else. It matters for the players because Michigan State is probably like, fuck this. We're not your little brother. We're going to come out and prove to you. Michigan comes in like, you are our fucking little brother. They get, in a scuffle on the field all the time. So when there is the rivalry where it is said back and forth, like, you're our little brother, shut the fuck up, and we're the big brother, it does matter on the field.
It doesn't matter on the field
You
at
don't,
all.
you don't think that Michigan and Michigan State players...
Mel Tucker had his first year last year. He walked into Ann Arbor, beat the shit out of Michigan.
I'm not talking about the results. I'm saying to the players, it does matter.
I agree with Casey. It does matter. That's why you guys are going to this game. It's cool. It's like that's why it matters.
It does matter.
What does it like?
You guys are buying into this bullshit narrative that isn't going to matter when
we're
this game
arguing.
kicks off.
We're arguing
Anyway,
two completely different things.
Okay, let's look at these numbers.
You don't think?
Michigan
You don't think?
State get up for this game?
Yes.
More than their other games. Yeah, of course.
Well, Michigan, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Michigan. I
But
was going to say
that's
Michigan
what we're
next.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it does matter.
This is a big rivalry.
It's a big, huge rivalry, and it's a
Yeah.
rivalry of
And
disrespect.
It will matter. Yeah, yeah.
So it does matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
Okay, fine. All right, so here's
God, I can't wait for this game to actually
where I
happen. so we
kind
can
of
stop
lean
yelling at
Michigan
each other.
State. Michigan State's big weakness is their passing defense. They give up 285 yards a game. They're not very good in pass defense. Now, got a great scoring defense. They're top 20 in the country. They're really good everywhere but their pass defense. But if you're playing Michigan, that's not going to matter because their quarterback stinks. They have the 104th best passing offense in the country. They only throw for 189 yards. They bench their quarterback in most games. The advantage Michigan would have is not going to exist here because their quarterback's not going to be able to walk in here and take advantage of a bad Michigan State pass defense.
Michigan has a very good ground game, though. They have very good running backs.
Yeah, these are two of the best ground games in the country. Michigan State has the best running back in the country
Yes.
this year. Michigan
One
has
of.
two guys that are really good. No, Kenneth Walker's been the best running back in the
He
country this
definitely
year.
has.
Yeah.
Yes. There are also, like, low-key, a lot of really good running backs this year.
There are.
There's a couple down in College Station, but we don't have to talk about that. I honestly, we've been doing this now for weeks and weeks and weeks. I just am so ready for this fucking game to happen. I'm sad that we're not going to be able to actually watch it in full. We'll be watching it on our phones. But, Jack, and I know you and I have felt this way, Michigan just has better players. They just do.
Based on what?
The internet.
That's not real. Based on what? Look at those numbers. Based on what?
What numbers you want me to look at? There's a million fucking numbers up there.
I know, but based on what you're just saying.
Jack read them off all
If
last
Michigan
week.
has better players than Michigan State, why don't they beat them more often?
We're talking about just this year.
Okay, this year, what's better?
Okay, so
Jack.
let's call
Aiden Hutchinson's the best player in this game.
Yeah.
He's Michigan's defensive tackle.
Ooh, between him and Kenneth Walker.
Oh no.
I think Hutchinson's going to be a top 10 pick. He's
Hutchinson's the best player by far.
all right. Hutchinson's the best player. I think Kenneth Walker is
You're not far off, though, Katie, because-
no,
Yeah.
she's right.
Okay.
I think Kenneth Walker's way up there. He's been
Yeah,
excellent.
but how much better is Kenneth Walker and more impacting
Than Blake Corum?
And who's their backup?
Haskins.
Hassan.
Yeah, both those guys are good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it's two people to look out for, not just one.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm
Now,
saying.
Kenneth
is-
I
Walker's
think
good.
I think it's a
We'll
50-50
call
toss-up.
quarterback. We'll call quarterback a draw.
I think it's a 50-50 toss-up, and you guys are saying Michigan has better players.
Neuer, the wide receiver on Michigan State, is probably the best skill player outside
Right.
of running backs.
Yeah.
Now,
It's historically looking at rankings. I think Michigan always has a better recruiting class than Michigan State.
Yes.
That doesn't
I know
matter.
Then what is your
It
better
matters
players?
sometimes, but it doesn't matter here.
How do you define better players then?
Well, we'll define it Saturday.
I can't wait till Saturday. This is one of those arguments. I'm sure there are people watching and listening to this right now like, shut the fuck up. Just let them play on Saturday, because we've had this same argument over and over and over. And I think, can we all agree on one thing here? We really don't know who the better team is. We
No,
have a
I
gut
agree.
feeling.
Yeah.
We have a feeling of what we think might happen. We have no fucking clue. And you know what? No one does.
We'll see.
Are you money lining Michigan State or just?
Oh,
for them
yeah,
to
I'm
cover?
betting them to win.
Okay.
No, guns down.
I also think, Michigan's defense is,
Probably the best unit in this game.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Who's a better coach?
it's incomplete at this point because Harbaugh's been an average coach for several years.
I agree with that.
And Tucker is. I haven't believed in him as a good coach until this year, so I think that's incomplete. But it must be said, in his first season, Mel Tucker walked into Jim Harbaugh's house and beat his ass last year.
I will. So you know on like networks how they have like where you can like move the things over. That's one of the things I miss most about being in network TV. If we had like a thing where we could do that and it was like offense, defense,
Right.
coaching, special teams, intangibles, how many would be over at Michigan State for you?
I think offense goes to Michigan State. I think defense goes to Michigan. Home field goes to Michigan State.
Intangibles?
Coaching to me is a wash.
You can't have a wash.
I think in this case, I think you can.
I would lean Michigan.
Michigan also has the better special teams unit.
Special teams, I would lean Michigan.
Michigan State does have, 2 or 3 punt returns for a touchdown, but outside of that, Michigan.
This is proving my point is that we really don't know. It's not like one of those where you can just move.
And SP plus special teams as well.
You guys are the ones that said Michigan just flat out has better players.
I didn't say that. Well,
You've said it before.
We have said it. Yeah, we have
I
said it.
actually think they do have better players, but as a unit, I give them a slight edge. Like I think they're like a touchdown better than Michigan State.
I can't wait for this game. I think that this is the most excited about a Big Ten game I've been in a long time.
All right, so quickly on the slate, Iowa's at Wisconsin. That's a Big Ten West championship game, basically. Yep. Wisconsin's kind of off the mat a little bit. Iowa hasn't played since they got beat by Purdue. I do wonder if this is a great spot to buy back in on Iowa. I know they're a dog on the road, but you don't think so?
Well, it is, but I'll be honest, I really like seeing Dan happy. It makes my job easier.
Dan's one of my favorite people in life.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if he's happy about his football team.
Well, I also love Madison. I mean, I'm a broken record. But I think that this I want these games to be like, this is the day we've been circling for the Big Ten. I want these games to be really fucking exciting, and I want something crazy to happen. And I think Wisconsin, even though they have gotten off the mat, right. Graham Mertz finally looks like he's capable of doing anything. It would make for chaos.
Let's see if Jack's ready to apologize to Katie. Because last time we were here, Katie, she insinuated the over-under for Iowa-Wisconsin could be 35, and Jack was like, he
I
poo-pooed
thought
that.
you were, someone else was on.
Jack poo-pooed that.
It wasn't me.
Jack, it was definitely all Jack. He poo-pooed that, and should he apologize now?
It was.
No.
What about you, Brandon?
What about me? I'm the one that's introducing the segment.
You
Didn't you also say?
I don't think I agree. I never agree with Jack.
I mean,
Jack, have I ever agreed with you?
Jack,
never.
Jack, he agreed with you.
I don't recall.
It wasn't me. I
think it might have been you.
It wasn't me.
I don't care who it is. I put in the group message when I saw the line go out. I was right.
Wasn't me. Put me on the counter.
Bathroom? It wasn't me.
36 and a half.
Bathroom floor.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I can't remember how it starts.
Oh, I know.
You let her catch you?
Catch me red-handed.
We're all next door. Okay, yeah.
Picture this.
So we both butt naked, hanging on the bathroom floor. How did I forget that I had given her an extra key? All right. Okay.
Why do we always end up doing that?
Georgia, Florida. Is there a team that's gone south faster than the Florida Gators?
No.
Dan Mullen might be out of a job soon.
I saw an article that he's a show cause.
I think they're still good.
Why?
Who are they starting at quarterback?
Well, it's unclear. I mean, like the LSU loss was definitely embarrassing.
Yeah.
The defense, I don't know what's going on there. It's like
Todd Grantham's got to be out there, defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it's just, but again, it's kind of one of those things that if Georgia wins this game by 14 to 21 points, I see them as a great, great team. Even if they win this by 3, and then we come here and we're like, oh my God, how did Georgia only beat them by 3? I still think it's a good win. I think Florida is based on talent and even on-field play. I mean, they stood toe-to-toe with Alabama.
Jack, if they lose this game, they're 4-4.
Yeah, so they lost to Alabama,
right?
LSU,
which is embarrassing,
humiliating,
and Kentucky.
That's not a bad loss.
Florida fans think that's embarrassing, but
I don't think it's that embarrassing, to be honest.
LSU was done, dead, finished. LSU couldn't score against anybody, and they run for 900 yards.
4 interceptions that they threw in that game.
Yeah, but they didn't play.
That's the embarrassing part.
You can't. This 2 years in a row, he has had every excuse. He has had no excuse to lose to LSU, and he's done it twice.
I don't know why he hasn't made a decision to start Anthony Richardson. We've been saying it.
I mean, Anthony Richardson did not play well in that LSU game.
But it seems like when he's in the game, they play a little bit better. I understand early in the season, Emory Jones, and I'm not like shitting on Emory Jones. It's just like, make a decision, Dan. You can't be going back and forth. But again, we go back to, and Georgia is by far the better team. I'm actually surprised the line is only 13.5. It seems like it should be a little bit bigger, but I think that plays into the rivalry game. You know, we've been to that game. I've been to that game probably 3 or 4 times now. The drunkest rivalry I've ever seen.
I've never been to that game.
Yeah,
I haven't.
You weren't with us.
I haven't been here very long. I saved Barstool 2 years ago.
Yeah, I saved it. That's right. I have been to this game both with Barstool and with ESPN. I swear to God, I would say that this is the drunkest rivalry, hands down.
All right, keep going so we can get to our other things that we have.
Oklahoma's going to rout Texas Tech.
You would think so.
Rout them.
Oklahoma just got kind of lucky to beat Kansas.
That's why I think they're going to rout them.
All right.
And Texas Tech just fired their coach. They're in disarray.
Question.
Ooh.
Oklahoma has played how many games?
7?
No, 8. And this is
8.
the first time they're 8-0.
They're 7-0. They're excuse me. Hold on. Oklahoma
They're
football.
8-0.
They are.
Guarantee you
They haven't had a bye yet.
Mm-mm.
Everybody just relax for a
This is
second.
the first time they're 8-0 since when?
It's been a while.
2004.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Doesn't
2.
that sound made up?
That was the
Yeah, I
year
was
that
That's
Two.
that, and then App State's first win over a ranked team was this past week since
Michigan.
2007 against
Wow, that's
Michigan.
crazy. So you say, Oklahoma's going to blow them out. That's what you say. Okay. They haven't. They play Western Carolina. They beat them 7-6-0. Other than that, they haven't blown out anybody.
No, I know.
Anybody.
No, I know.
They beat
I
Kansas by
think-
12. I guess you could say they blew out TCU 52-31.
Here's why I think this. I think that they were, and I know we went back and forth on what was more embarrassing between Kansas and Oklahoma, the way they acted. I know you guys said it wasn't embarrassing for Kansas. I think it was humiliating for the number 3 team in the country to have Kansas football, not basketball, sending out emails begging people to come in for free to watch a potential upset. I think it's going to piss Oklahoma off. And on the flip side, Texas Tech just fired their coach. These players are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? This is a moment for Oklahoma and Caleb Williams to come in and be like, we're not the embarrassing team that you saw play last week.
Jack, I meant to do it before we came into the season, or before we came into the show. I wouldn't mind going back and looking and see how many jobs we had come open last year. I don't remember exactly how many it was. I know it was probably a down year for coaching jobs.
It was
maybe
like kind of.
between 8
It
and
was
10
hard
because
to fire
COVID.
a
Yeah,
coach.
but I feel like we're in like Renaissance season for firing coaches now. We just in the last 2 weeks we've had Washington State come open. We've had Texas
about
Tech
it.
come open.
LSU.
Matt Wells they almost fired him last year, right?
Right.
And then, so what other jobs have come up? And USC Clay Helton almost fired last year.
He's almost been fired for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Justin Fuente.
Fuente hasn't been fired yet.
But he's.
It seems I heard something this morning that his buyout drops in November. So
Who writes these coaches' contracts?
Also, who would agree to that as an agent?
Yeah.
Right. Who?
A bad one?
Yeah, a really bad one to say, hey, we're going to
I got
make
an
sure
idea.
the buyout drops in
Yeah.
November. Like,
yeah,
Listen,
that's what
fella, I ain't gonna let them fire you in October, November. You know.
Because that's
You
what
know,
happened at
yeah.
the press conference last year when the team called it. All the beat reporters who knew the contract thought that was happening. They had to put out a statement. It's like,
All right.
no, this is just us.
Yeah.
Ole Miss at Auburn. I think this is where the dream kind of dies for Ole Miss.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're a pretty good team with a great quarterback. I don't think they're a very good team. And Auburn's just Harson's. They're good.
They're good. Bo Nix playing a lot better.
Bo Nix is good. Their defense is good. Like they're really good. Although
Matt Corral,
he's fine.
he's better than fine.
No, he's fine. Here's the
Statistically, he is
Here's-
the best quarterback in the country.
not even close. Not even close.
Statistically?
No. He's not even close. That's the dirty
you
secret
sure?
about Matt Corral. His stats this year aren't as good as his stats were last year. They're just not. Like he's okay, but
he's right up there. He's
his
not the
efficiency
best.
stats are good because he hasn't thrown any picks. But as far
threw
as like
one.
yards per game, I mean he's
yards per game's awful. Stat.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
do yards whatever you want to do. His stats still
Rate-
aren't near
go
the
to
top in
rating.
He ranks
anything.
4th in QBR.
QBR, okay.
And then he's thrown for 1,900 yards, 21st, 15 TDs, which is throwing.
Right.
Rushing.
He's been good rushing. But his stats aren't crazy. They aren't crazy like they were last year. His stats last year were better. His numbers were better. He's fine.
Okay.
He's good. He's a good player.
I mean, let's be honest, though. His number one knock so far has always been his decision-making. He's only thrown one interception this
interception.
Yeah.
year.
15-1 is a pretty fucking good
Yeah, it's really good. It's really
ratio.
good. And then, but I do think he carries that team more than any player
he has
carries.
24 total touchdowns. I don't think he's close to this statistical.
It's not a
best.
crazy thing for me to say.
I hate to do
I don't
this,
think
but-
he's close to statistically best in the country this
So
year.
he's 24 touchdowns total.
Yeah.
How much, who's your favorite best quarterback, would you say? Let's just compare it to your favorite
Yeah,
best.
there hasn't. I mean, I don't know how many Bryce Young has. I don't know how many he has on the ground.
I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the country. I'm saying statistically he's.
Bryce Young has 26 through the air.
But how many does he have through the ground?
I don't through the ground. He
like through the
he's
ground.
like the underminer.
Like the tunnels?
Yeah, he tunnels through the. I don't know. He's got at least a couple.
And
Anyway, whatever. That's
Whatever.
a semantics
Numbers
battle.
are numbers. Numbers are numbers.
Okay, so anyway, I think, and then
Wait, so you think Auburn's going to win?
I do think Auburn's going to win. Yeah.
Okay.
it's a good game.
And then
I am surprised they're favored.
Mississippi State's going to beat Kentucky. We all agree on that.
Yep.
SMU at Houston. We got a BeCAWS list player in that one. Can we just go ahead and skip the slate? We're gonna, time wise, we got to go ahead and get running here. But I probably need to drop the BeCAWS list.
Yeah, but hold on. So you're not even going to talk about why you think Mississippi State's going to beat Kentucky?
Oh, we own Kentucky.
That is true. When's the last time you?
Last year.
They haven't won.
Yeah, but that was a weird game last
they
year.
haven't won in
You only scored
Starkville.
2
They haven't
that
won in
was-
Starkville since like 2007.
There we go.
2008. It's been a long time. And-
What
and
was the score of that game last year?
24-2.
To 2.
You guys got a safety though.
Yeah, we got safety. Yeah.
24-2 is just a buffoonish score.
Wasn't great. But this isn't last year, is it?
No, it's definitely not last year, which is why I think Michigan State.
Look
beat
at all that
Michigan last year
maroon
doesn't
lately.
fucking
Look at
matter.
all that maroon lately.
Yeah. Heard
There's
you.
a lot of maroon lately.
Heard.
A lot of maroon.
But still every other year for the past 5.
Nah, it doesn't count. Yeah, but every other year now it's our
It's
turn.
amazing.
10. Do it to 10 past 10 years.
Yes, obviously. I'm
Right.
looking at that.
It's
I'm
amazing
saying
how,
decent.
depending on what matchup we're talking about, what years matter. Because back when we were talking about Michigan State,
Well, Brandon did that great thing where he said in the last 13 years, but
Yeah.
9 and 4. But then over the last 20 years,
Yeah.
it's like
20 years doesn't matter, though. 13 is a
Oh,
much
that
better
is true.
number.
You know what? I
that's
was
true.
looking at numbers recently, and the most predictive of the future is the
13.
last 13.
Yes,
so,
for
you
sure,
know what?
definitely.
13 is a key number.
He statistically beat me there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the series is
that's-
tied at 24 apiece.
Sex!
you just wanted to say sex.
I thought we had a Roman ad.
No, it's not a Roman ad. Not
What
a
we
Roman.
got?
It's an Upstart ad.
That's a great company, too.
We do
You
love.
can't,
That's
guys, you can't put another company's name
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
true.
in the
they're
ad.
Not, they're not
That's
similar
true. That's
companies.
that's a good point.
They paying us for
Okay, forget
Okay,
I
fine.
said anything. Forget I said anything. So,
Keep going.
Upstart, huh?
You want me to start over?
no. This is actually funny.
Right.
Okay, I'll start it
Don't
over.
start over.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah,
Upstart.
You know what's fun?
Yeah.
Paying off your student debt.
Oh, I love it so much.
Your credit card debt.
Yes.
We hate credit card debt.
Sex is fun, too.
What's wrong with you today?
Nothing. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
well, you know what? Let me just
we
do this
hate
then.
credit card debt.
Hate
here.
it.
Hate
Hate
credit
it.
card debt, and Upstart is a fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan, and it's all online, Brandon. You don't have to go talk to anybody in person. You don't have to explain it to them, whether it's credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, personal expenses, whatever it may be, Upstart can help you with it.
Yes, it can. And it will.
And it will. Rather than just looking at your credit card score alone or your credit score alone.
Right.
Because, a lot of places do that.
That's
Upstart,
depressing.
It is depressing. They take in factors like your current employment,
Sure.
your credit history to find you a smarter rate.
Your gigantic salary, Casey.
Well, I don't know why you had to throw that in there. They look at a lot of different things other than just your credit score because we know your credit score doesn't always say the exact story. You can check your rate right now without impacting your credit score in just minutes, Brandon. Just minutes, like your sex life. For loans
It's true.
between $1,000 and $50,000, you can even receive funds as fast as one business day, Brandon. One business day after accepting
That's
your
not
loan.
many days at all.
That's not at all. So find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payment right now when you go to upstart.com/roughness. That's upstart.com/roughness. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know that we sent you guys.
Roughness.
Because we want you to have less debt.
Yes.
That's what we want.
We also want the credit.
We all. Good. I see the play on words there.
Yeah,
there's
thanks.
play on words. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Again, that's upstart.com/roughness.
Yeah,
Big
but that's
picture.
the 50s.
Yeah, I know,
We don't
I
care
know.
about that.
That's
All
what I
right.
said, entire series.
The BeCAWS list.
You just.
Here are the players who you will not hear their name called in Heisman list. Now, right now, the Heisman list, I think Bryce Young is.
Wait, don't. Wasn't that part of our homework assignment?
Well, that was our own, not like the
Those are our
actual-
own, yeah. But as far as odds go, I can tell you who the odds-on favorites are.
Oh.
Bryce
well,
Young is up there. Mac Rowell's up there.
Kenneth
C.J.
Walker.
Stroud's up there.
Stroud.
Kenneth Walker.
Kenny Pickett's come
We
up.
all know the players that are up there. But these are players that have been just as good and will not get there. And my number one BeCAWS list guy is on a team that is 7-0. And they play a big game this week when they play Houston. But Tanner Mordecai, Oklahoma transfer, has thrown for 2,300 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He has been incredible. He's got his team at 7-0, but he will never get in the Heisman race because he's SMU's quarterback.
Correct.
And I feel like SMU's quarterbacks recently have owned this list. Remember, Shane Buechele was there for last year.
Texas transfer, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there and getting the transfer quarterbacks and plugging them in and going wild.
Yeah, and I mean,
Tanner Mordecai's been excellent.
It is absolutely because he plays for SMU, so it makes him squarely number one on your BeCAWS list.
I have I have two more quarterbacks. I got Tanner Mordecai number 1. Number 2 on my quarterback list is Brennan Armstrong, Virginia. This guy has gone insane this year.
And you really just took he was on my Heisman list.
This is my list, though.
I know.
Well, but
This is the BeCAWS list.
he
You can
understood the
be on
assignment.
your Heisman list.
But I wanted to be like unique.
You still will be. He's not on my Heisman list. Brennan Armstrong, 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That team can score. Sneaky, entertaining game. They're at BYU this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Bronco going back to Provo, which I still maintain BYU's coach going to Virginia, one of the weirdest switches I've ever seen.
No, I don't. I disagree with you. BYU, you have to be a very particular person to exist there and coach there. You have to be down with everything. Virginia, I think, don't get me wrong, you were right, and you said it to me yesterday that they have kind of a weird fan base and probably culture. However, it's Virginia, and you can kind of get away with it.
Speaking of weird fan bases and cultures.
Yeah, what was that clip?
What was that clip?
Yeah,
What was that clip?
the
You saw the
pumpkin-
clip.
I'm going to be honest with you.
You saw the clip.
I did see it. I have no idea what that
They're
is.
walking down the street with painted faces and pitchforks.
And tiki torches? I thought those
From
were canceled.
from what I gathered, it's some outfit of the Corps that does it every year for Halloween. I'm honestly, this is an honest answer. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. It was quite alarming.
Look at that.
I have no idea
That's
what this
the guy
is.
with the pumpkin head.
Brandon, I don't know. I don't know what this
Is that
is.
a man? Yeah, probably because he has no shirt on.
This is
But
something from Midsommar.
I don't know what this is.
also,
What-
the
what's-
way their
bunch of Darby
face
Allins.
paint is like that guy that you compared. Who did you compare
It's like
on
Sting.
Twitter? Katie. Yeah, like Sting a little bit. You know that kid. You compared somebody on Twitter on
Oh,
Saturday.
I like turtles.
What?
The Turtles kid.
The Turtles kid. They have it like the Turtles kid.
I like turtles. I'm being 100% honest. I've never seen this. I don't know anything about the Corps lifestyle. I did not.
Cool.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Cool.
I'm
was-
running in the other direction if I see this.
I'm getting like chirped. Like, are we ready to admit A&M is a cult? Like, I've never said it wasn't.
How do you get? Where did they get that big ass pumpkin too? That looks heavy.
What I'm saying to you is that
I think it
apparently
definitely is heavy because they had 2 guys walking with them.
in my research of just today of everyone chirping me on Twitter,
The 2 guys on the side holding the pumpkin up. Yeah, they
Yes,
are.
that's why because
Yeah.
it's so heavy,
I
including the guy who has it on.
There's 4 hands on that pumpkin.
If you're listening, folks, it's on our Twitter. If you're on YouTube, obviously you're just looking at it right now.
don't know. I don't know. But I also hand up. I don't know anything that the Corps does.
Okay.
I wasn't in that crew.
I got 1 more quarterback, 2 running backs, and a receiver.
It's
All
a
right.
weird look.
I also talked to somebody from Texas A&M. They've never seen
I've
that.
never
ever.
seen that before.
Yeah,
Bailey Zappi, Western Kentucky, 3,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They throw it around the yard. Now they kind of suck. Their defense is awful. They're 2-4. They're not a good team. Bailey Zappi putting up huge numbers. The transfer from Houston Baptist, I believe. He's been really good. Running backs, I got 2, and there's a lot of good running backs. We've already discussed it. Like Bijan Robinson. These guys are statistically better than Bijan Robinson, but he's in the Heisman mix. So is Travion Henderson. So is Kenneth Walker. Sean Tucker at Syracuse has been their best player.
I think he's number 1 in all-purpose.
Sean Tucker has been fantastic. He's 10,000
And his tweets are hilarious too.
They are
1,060
so funny.
yards. I haven't seen his tweets.
Oh,
You haven't seen his tweets?
10
Oh,
touchdowns,
Brandon.
6.
Brandon.
He averages 6 yards a carry.
This
Go
is
to
a-
our Instagram.
This is
because
a thing. He is a phenomenal tweeter.
He's a good tweeter.
all he does is tweet his stats, and then at the end he just says, "I'm just getting started."
like, it's so funny.
But it's the only thing he tweets.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Here we go.
He just tweets out his own
Finally, an
highlights.
ACC
Yes.
win.
I'm pleased with my performance and happy with the outcome. I ran 20 attempts. Thanks to my O-line for helping me reach 1K yards. More to come. I'm just getting started. Okay, so he's just leaning into being a me guy.
yes.
No. But he's like, I'm pleased with my performance, but
well,
not
no,
happy
this is
we
great.
lost another close.
Friday we lost. Syracuse 14, Clemson 17. I'm pleased with my performance, but not happy we lost another close one. But I just like to point out I'm pleased with my performance.
And then he lists his stats out.
Yeah.
The Syracuse running back stat tweets are great.
Yeah.
Like I love on Saturday. It's like can't wait for the tweet. Like
Yeah.
All right, let's.
I mean, look
And
at
they're
this.
slowly,
Saturday
if
we
you
lost.
keep going through, like the last one got 4,000
I
likes. It's
love-
becoming like a meme.
I love this line. Saturday we lost in OT to Wake Forest. I'm pleased with my performance, but not happy with the outcome. I love that he keeps leading off with, I'm pleased with my
I
performance.
mean, look at his performance.
It was
26
great.
attempts.
153
He is-
yards.
And he's what? He's a freshman, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
You got to
awesome,
pay
dude.
attention to this. It's become an internet like sensation.
Yeah, I gotta get on him.
If he stays on this level, do you think he's going to transfer somewhere? Like someone will come.
That's
yoink him,
the
or-
new world. Like he's gonna have a different coach next year. So there's
Well,
gonna be
if
so
he has
many
a different coach,
things.
he'll probably transfer. But I think if Dino stays, which I mean, let's be honest, there he may
not terrible,
He may
yeah.
not be fired.
All right, couple more. BJ Baylor, Oregon State, another freshman. BJ Baylor. He's got 829 yards, which is top 10, but he's averaging 7 yards a carry, and he has 10 touchdowns. BJ Baylor, a guy at Oregon State you're not going to hear about. He's been fantastic. And the lone receiver on this list, probably the most impressive player for his position on this list. He leads the country in catches, yards, touchdowns. He leads all three. He's a Triple Crown winner right now. Jareth Stearns at Western Kentucky, 83 catches, 1,077 yards, 10 touchdowns. He has been elite this year. Again, their defense sucks. The team's not very good, but their quarterback and their receivers have been great.
Can I add one running back?
Please.
This is a great team. Chaps, of course, he's a graduate from there.
Sincere
And-
McCormick?
Yeah. What?
Can you just let him have his shine, please?
I was gonna say his name.
This show is about me. And
Okay,
me alone.
Sincere McCormick is great, and UTSA. I mean, we talked about them last show, and they have a big game against UTEP next weekend. It's awesome. We'll see. Meep. Sincere McCormick's a great name too.
When I get done with the show, I'm tweeting out another show in the can. Not great. I'm pleased with my performance. I had 21 good lines, 7 great
You're
responses.
Start doing the same thing he's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah,
Oh, also, I'm surprised you haven't said this guy. How many do you have left?
That was
that's it.
I mean, this is the most dominant wide receiver in the country. His
Oh, God.
entire
More than
offense.
Jareth Stearns?
Yes.
Oh, I have one. If you don't, I'll give you the name. If it's not, I'm
Where's he? What part of the nation?
West Coast.
Yeah, Drake London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My problem is he's a big name, and I think
I don't know if he's that big of a name. USC's entire offense is Drake
He's
London.
great.
Drake London. I mean,
He's
that's
great.
He'll
it.
be the head coach.
I found a stat that basically is responsible for the highest percentage of the team's scrimmage yards. Drake London is 32.2%.
They just
Yeah,
throw
I
the
mean,
ball up to him.
he's-
So a single person.
But he's a big name, but he could be on the BeCAWS list because USC is just kind of a dumpster fire.
I saw a stat today which has nothing to do with any of this, but it was just fascinating. It was somebody tweeting out the teams that have gotten the most percentage of their points off of turnovers. Iowa has gotten 40% of their points off turnovers.
Yeah, it's like 64
Really?
points or
It's
something.
unbelievable.
40?
40, yes. If they're not getting turnovers, they're not scoring. All right, so
Well, they are playing Graham Mertz, so
let's go with let's unveil our top 10s, our playoff 4s, our Heisman
Which
list.
one do you want to start with?
Let's do our top 10s.
Okay.
Oh,
What?
I don't have a graphic for that yet.
It's you can fill it in verbally.
Okay.
I don't want to stretch the I don't want to exaggerate here or hyperbole. You're the worst person I know.
Can we just talk about the top 10s?
Why?
Yeah, we can talk about mine, Katie's, and Jack's because we all have them up there. Okay. Why do we have the AP up there? I don't give a fuck about the
It's
AP.
for comparison.
They don't. Adrian Peterson isn't on the show.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you? You want me to?
Nah,
Should I fill it in
They don't
right
like
now?
calling him AP. ADP.
AD.
This is
yeah.
this is an
Just
embarrassing
AD.
display for
All
me. I
day.
will
Yeah,
say I am ashamed at looking at this graphic.
Yeah, because
I just didn't send her my top 10. I did send her my other ones. I just forgot.
so I just wanted to see where we all were different. Okay, I
Do you
want to
want
see.
me, should I fill mine in right now before? Okay, go ahead.
I just want to see where we all were different. So we all have Georgia across the board number 1. I don't think that's a hot take. I think Georgia easily the best team and the only team we've seen that hasn't shown any warts whatsoever. Okay, unquestioned number 1.
My, also my number 1.
Where we start to differ is I have Ohio State number 2. I have them number 2, and then Katie has Ohio State number 2. Who do you have number 2?
I have Alabama at number 2.
So does Jack. Why?
Because I understand Ohio State only has 1 loss, Alabama only has 1 loss, and I understand A&M has 2 losses. I think A&M is a better loss now than Ohio State's loss to Oregon.
Look at her.
I know. That's why I'm saying I'll fill it in now. I think, and this is not a homer thing, like I think the way that A&M has played and the way they beat Alabama.
Oh,
and,
God.
What?
I just noticed ranking that Jack's got that I'm shocked at. I thought I was going to be progressive with my number 10 and this motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
Guy, I got him. Hold on. Hold on.
You want me to just name mine off so that we can go ahead and do this, and then we can all
Yeah,
argue?
hurry up.
Okay.
Hurry up, Katie.
What?
See?
Jesus Christ. Number 3, I am putting Michigan.
Oh,
Number
You gotta
4,
be fucking
I'm putting
kidding
Cincinnati.
me. You got to be fucking kidding me right
Cincinnati.
now.
Number 5.
You're putting Michigan at 3?
Oklahoma.
What the fuck has Michigan done?
Number 6, Ohio State.
You think Michigan? I can't believe you still
Number
think Michigan's
7, Michigan State.
Brandon's losing his mind.
Brandon's going to kill himself. Number 8, Oregon. Number 9,
Oh my God.
number 10, Texas A&M. And number 9, I'm going to say, I'll say Pitt.
All right, Brandon, have you put your brain back together?
Okay.
All right. What in the how do you come to Michigan at number 3?
Well, Jack has him at 4.
Jack has what? I
We
just
haven't lost yet.
neither has Oklahoma. Neither has Cincinnati.
But I think Michigan's a better team than those two right now.
But why do you think Michigan's better than Cincinnati?
Well, first of all, Oklahoma almost lost to fucking Kansas.
Fine, Oklahoma, whatever.
Cincinnati's now their win over Notre Dame is looking better.
Yeah.
They don't play in a Power 5 conference, and their win over Indiana doesn't mean a motherfucking thing.
Okay, but who has the better win so far, Michigan or Cincinnati? Cincinnati does. Michigan doesn't have a good win yet. Who's Michigan beaten?
I just think they're a better team. That's
Okay.
the whole point of these top 10s. I mean,
Fine,
yes,
fine,
obviously.
fine.
Oh, you want me to be chalk like the AP?
No.
You
No,
just
no,
poo-pooed
just
the
relax,
AP.
relax.
You just poo-pooed the AP.
Relax.
This is my top 10. Jack has them one.
Quit hollering at me. Okay, I'm going to read out the list for everybody if you're listening on podcast. Here's my top 10. Number 1, Georgia, followed by number 2, Ohio State, 3, Alabama, 4, Cincinnati, 5, Michigan State, 6, Michigan, 7, Oregon, 8, Oklahoma, 9, Oklahoma State. I'm the only one that didn't really punish them for losing by 3 on the road. And I got number 10, Texas A&M, who I think is playing very, 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 very well. Casey has number 1, Georgia.
She just did hers because she did that now.
I'm just going to speed through it.
Okay.
Just laying it out there. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Michigan. 4, Cincinnati. 5, Oklahoma. 6, Ohio State. 7, Michigan State. 8, Oregon. 9, Pitt. And 10, Texas A&M. Jack has number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Ohio State. He's got number 4, Michigan. And he has Texas A&M at number 5. Jack, 5?
Yeah, I think they're the 5th best team in the country right now.
I do like ranking top 10s not based on what
So
what
I think
exactly
Texas
they
A&M would beat Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Florida, Oklahoma, and Auburn.
Fuck yeah, Jack.
You've got hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for him to find that one.
What?
You got Florida at 8?
Yeah, I think
You
they're the
have
8th best team in the
They're
country.
about to be a 500 football team.
Yeah, but I still think they're based upon.
Jack, based upon what? They haven't done anything. Their best win is a loss.
No. They destroyed Tennessee.
It's Tennessee.
What noise was that?
What do you mean it's Tennessee? Like, they're a good team.
They're not a good team. They're okay. They're fine. They're fine.
Hey, he's allowed to have Florida
I
wherever
think-
the fuck he wants.
He is, but I'm allowed to voice
Yes.
my displeasure.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Florida at 8?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at every metric that I trust and I believe in, they're a top 10 team.
Better than, say, Ole Miss, who's 6-1.
Yeah, are they going to play Ole Miss this year?
No.
Unfortunately not. Yeah, I think Florida's like right there with Ole Miss. That'd be a great game.
I can't believe we all have Texas A&M in the top 10. I thought I was being edgy.
I mean, you had to know I was going to do that. I've been talking about them
mean,
being
the
in the SEC
difference-
You're fine.
championship.
I didn't think Jack would have them at 5. I didn't think Katie
Katie-
what's her name? Katie would have them at 9. Katie
They're
has
playing-
no. Hold on.
They're playing.
Katie,
really fucking good
Katie has Michigan at 10, and doesn't have Michigan State ranked at all in her top 10.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I
They'd
think
be like
that's
11 or
act-
12.
I think that's fair.
That's
I think
fair.
it's fine. It's just
Right.
interesting. It's an outlier. We all have outliers, right?
Yes.
She has Iowa at 7. She's the only one that has Iowa as a top 10 team.
I think they
I have
got
Michigan.
exposed.
You wouldn't see Michigan State on mine until like 20s.
Yeah,
My
I don't-
problem with that is, how do you separate Michigan and Michigan State that much? You have them at 4. You have Michigan State unranked. How do you separate them that
It's a
much?
projection,
Strength of
and we're going to
schedule.
see it on Saturday.
Okay.
I think
That's a good answer.
I think Michigan has played better teams than Michigan State has.
But they haven't. They played the same teams.
Miami, Youngstown State, Northwestern.
Washington.
We both played Northwestern.
Washington, Miami. They're the same. They're both bad.
They
played the same teams. They both played Nebraska. They both played Rutgers. They both played Northwestern.
I think Miami is a worse team than Washington.
Well, they're not.
They are.
What based on what?
I mean,
Miami just beat NC State. Miami's not that bad, and Washington's not good at all.
I suppose.
This is
I will
This is
agree.
why
I
we did
think
this.
that-
This is
I
why we
think-
did this.
I think their schedules are the same.
Homework worked. Can I just say the homework worked?
Well, I think their schedule
Isn't it?
is
It worked because
similar.
you gave it to us. We should do
It's
more often.
similar.
Yeah.
Based on
Positive
ESPN strength of
reinforcement.
I
schedule.
just don't. That's what I'm saying.
Strength of schedule
Positive
is
reinforcement.
Michigan 71st and Michigan State 73rd.
Right. They played the
Yes,
same teams.
and we're going to see it on Saturday.
That's why I'm interested in how you separate them so much and how
I don't separate them that much.
I actually respect Katie just barely ranking one, not ranking the other.
Michigan State would be like 11 or 12, 13 for me. So it's not like a
I have
I
Michigan
put 'em-
State over Michigan.
That's fine. And I have Michigan State
Strength of
a
record.
spot below.
But I have 'em-
Michigan State's 3rd, Michigan's 4th.
But I have them both. Like
I have them both close too.
Okay, relax. I have them both side by side. Which wherever you put them, if you put them at like 3 or 4, if you put them at 11,
think
12, I
that's
think they
last
should be.
week's
I think
rankings.
they should be together. Anyway, go back to the. This is fine. Go back to the. Okay. Any other outliers here? Only Katie has Ole Miss as a top 10 team, which I respect.
Oh no, I have also I split mine up. I think honestly after Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, I could be argued into kind of anything.
Now I have Cincinnati 4. Casey has them 4. Katie has them 5. Jack has them 6. Not a lot of really differences there.
I mean, we're all lower than
I have
CFP.
Alabama at 3 right now as a placeholder, but they're not going to end up in the playoff 4. Okay, now's a good time transition. So as of right now, what are our playoff 4? I assume we're just looking at them right here on our list.
No,
but
you're
no,
not.
mine's different because
Mine's different too.
I'm
Yeah.
projecting.
I'm projecting too.
Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Cincinnati are my playoff 4 right now.
My playoff 4: Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Oklahoma.
Jack?
You think Michigan's going to beat Ohio State?
I do.
Yeah, I saw
Why?
that. I was like, wow.
I'm projecting.
Jack has
I
Georgia.
also, Katie said when I texted to her, Katie was like, "Wow," and I was like, "First of all, I want to be different. I don't want to be chalk. I've been high on Michigan. I think if I'm going to explain mine, I think that Alabama is going to play Georgia in the SEC championship. I think Alabama is going to beat Georgia, which is going to force the committee to put both of them in. I think Oklahoma is going to win the Big 12 and go undefeated, and I think Michigan is going to win the Big 10."
So Jack and Casey both believe Alabama's going to beat Georgia in the SEC title game. Me and Katie believe Georgia's going to beat Alabama, therefore we don't have Alabama in. I assume that's what's happening here.
Yep.
Katie's is Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon. And
Oregon's flexible.
Oregon and Cincinnati right now are the two teams. I think Oklahoma's going to get beat. That's why I'm projecting them not to be in it right now.
Who's going to beat them?
It could happen. Like, they have a tough 2 out of 3 on the road.
Yeah.
Baylor could get them. Oklahoma State could
It's
get
one
them.
of, like we've
Oklahoma
said this
State
a few
done
weeks
good.
ago. They're like they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose.
Yeah, but they haven't gotten to the part of the schedule that can beat them yet. Texas could have beat them. I mean, Texas did everything but beat them, but now they're going to have to play 3 ranked teams to end the season.
I'm and again, just projecting. I think that what happened last weekend is going to light a fire under that team.
Every time I think that, it doesn't happen.
But it's Kansas.
And look what happened to Alabama now. Actually, never mind. They
haven't.
They struggled versus Tennessee.
Yeah, they did. That score looked a lot worse than it should have been. And you're right, Jack. Tennessee's not a bad football team. And Tennessee had Alabama like thinking about it in the third quarter, and then Alabama ended up burying them. Okay, so the Heisman top 3. Who's
Mine's
everybody's?
very chalk. I just want to point that out.
Bryce Young, Matt Corral, C.J. Stroud. That's literally the top 3 favorites on the Barstool Sportsbook.
But
Okay.
I mean, is the 3 top picks right now.
Jack goes different. He's got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Brendan Armstrong. I've got Kenneth Walker leading the Heisman race right now, followed by Bryce Young and Matt Corral. I think Matt Corral will fall off when they start losing to Texas A&M and Auburn. Katie's got Kenneth Walker with me. She's got C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. Now, the reason I brought this up, I think it's an outstanding time to get in on some lower odds of teams that are about to play big games. And I think you should pick an Ohio State player and roll with him because they're about to play 3 top 10 teams, and they're about to win all 3 games, in my opinion. If Travion Henderson goes for 200, 200, 200, he might win the Heisman.
I had Travion Henderson at 4, and I understand he's going to have to do a little bit more, but Chris Olave is like that's kind of a sneaky pick too. However, the problem with Ohio State's offense right now is that they're all so good that it's going to come down to it's like, well, you're going to have to end up if they continue to win and they beat Michigan and do the whole thing, win the Big Ten, you're going to take the quarterback. That's the problem with you see it happen at Alabama, you see it happen at LSU, you see it happen at other places where it's like, well, we've got all these skill players, it's going to come down to the quarterback, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, so that's why I have CJ Stroud over Travion Henderson. That one was a tough one to choose.
Question.
Yes. Answer.
Let's pretend we live in a world where CJ Stroud wins the Heisman.
Okay.
What happens to Quinn? What does Quinn do? He's getting $1.4 million to not be in high school right now and to just sit on the bench. Probably the best life in America right now. Does he just go ahead and go somewhere else? Because CJ Stroud's a freshman.
I would say yes, because if he's that good, he knows he can go start anywhere.
It's fascinating to me, like this Heisman, Ohio State's got 3 good quarterbacks. We assume they got C.J. Stroud, who's good, Quinn Ewers, big-time recruit, and they got another big-time recruit who's sitting there. Like we're now living in a world where one of those guys took the job this year, the other 2 are facing him next year. We live in that world.
Yeah. I would say I think it comes down to obviously what schools are going to need quarterbacks, and I think a lot of them are. But if you're a guy like that and you have so much potential, you didn't even have to be in high school anymore.
Right.
You're not sitting on the bench.
Spencer Rattler is going to be somebody's quarterback next year. Quinn Ewers could be somebody's quarterback next year. Or C.J. Stroud could be somebody else's quarterback next year.
You know who may be somebody's quarterback next year?
Tate Martell.
Haynes King.
Yeah. I don't know about him.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, you guys may have 3 quarterbacks next year because this kid coming, Connor
Weidman, something like
is
that.
very good too. So,
just saying. I mean, the
Cuban, day of the backup quarterback might be ending very soon.
The Cuban Missile.
Mm-hmm.
Looking pretty good. Can't believe I just said that.
Happiest. Who's the happiest fan base in each conference? And this one will wind up very soon. Who's the saddest? In the Big Ten, who's the happiest fan base right now?
Michigan.
I think it's State, and this is again you're absolutely splitting hairs at this point, but they got the little added bonus of getting to host this game.
That's true.
And they're going to host game day. They're like the spotlight's going to be on East Lansing for the first time in forever. I think Michigan State edges Michigan for the happiest in the Big Ten.
The reason I say Michigan edges them just is because they were so upset when Jim Harbaugh got the extension last year, and they were like, fuck, we're never going to be able to get rid of this guy. And then now they're having the season that they are. I think that they're happy that it's like, oh, wow, actually, he might be a good coach.
Who's the saddest fan base in the Big Ten as we speak right now?
Are you going to ask Katie and Jack the happiest or
not?
not?
I'm sorry.
I'd probably say Ohio State.
I don't know if they're ever happy till they're winning the playoff. Like they're like begrudgingly watching C.J. Stroud be great right now. They're like, okay.
I think it's Michigan State.
Okay. Saddest?
Who's the saddest in the Big Ten right now?
Should we all say them at the same time?
No. Why don't we just go around the room?
See, here's the thing: is like there's the saddest, like the Rutgers type.
Just
of
say
sad.
it. Just say it.
Penn State.
Penn State's the answer.
Penn State.
Because Penn State's in that moment where the unfathomable sadness of college football always catches you. If you're not an Alabama fan, a Clemson fan most years, an Ohio State fan, the unfathomable sadness of college football will get you. And right now, it's choking out Penn State because they just lost Illinois at home, and all their hopes and dreams went down the river.
Yes.
And there's other things by the way, Minnesota being 5-2 is shocking to me.
It's weird.
Why?
I looked up. I kind of cast them away when Ibrahim got hurt. They lost to Ohio State. Then they lost to
Bowling Green.
Green. Done. I was done with them. I threw them out, and they're just sitting there 5-2. They're winning games. They're winning.
Yeah,
Big Ten
they're
games.
a decent team.
They're not a bad team at all.
They're not bad, no.
All right. Who's the happiest team in the ACC? Who's the happiest fan base in the ACC right now?
That one's tough. I would say Pitt.
Yes.
Pitt, just because, I think they're everybody's favorite in the ACC right now.
Wake Forest has to be, right?
I think it's Wake.
Wake.
I would say I feel like wouldn't Wake know they're just going by the skin of their
They
teeth?
know, but they're enjoying the ride.
Fair.
They're on a ride
Pitt
right
is
now,
too, though.
and they are. But Pitt's on a different ride where they're sitting there and they're like, this is great. We're leaving the ACC, but fuck, what did we do against Western Michigan? Why do we have that on our record?
Yeah.
So they kind of got that, but I would say they're way up there. Who's the saddest?
Clemson.
And that makes me happy. I want to see Alabama fans sad. I want to see Ohio State fans sad.
Easily Clemson.
I'm glad Clemson fans are now wondering if they need to move on from Dabo, if they need to do this. Fuck you.
Can I?
Or you think you guys are sadder?
Well, it's a different kind. Like, so Clemson, they're used to success. UNC, we've had 2 good years building on each other. Like, you know what? We came this season top 10. I mean, everyone will say that was a little overrated. But it's like, this is it. We're becoming legit. We're becoming nationally relevant. And then this season is kind of like, oh, shit, no. This is just not going to happen for us. So it's like back to square one.
What's wrong with the graphic Katie has decided to use for this one?
Notre Dame's in it.
Yeah, it's from last one.
Okay.
This is for the moment. I wasn't prepped for it. So
I think Florida State fans are still really sad.
Yeah.
Still don't think they're happy with where they are.
But they're like perpetually sad right now. Clemson fans are used to being in the playoff and like DJ's gonna be great.
I could drink
and
millions of gallons of Clemson tears.
They're definitely the saddest.
SEC, who's the happiest?
Georgia.
Georgia, without a doubt.
Easily.
Although I think Ole Miss fans are feeling themselves right now.
A&M fans are feeling themselves. Auburn fans are feeling themselves.
Too many people are feeling themselves there.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's Georgia. I mean, it has to be
Never feel
Georgia.
yourself too much. And then who's the saddest?
Well, probably Arkansas.
No.
Say
They still
LSU.
buy into that fat fuck.
Okay.
I think
Missouri.
it's Florida. Right? I think it's Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's
Oh, okay.
like having an existential crisis about what they've got.
LSU too.
Yeah, LSU.
No, LSU's.
I think they're happy because they're getting red.
They got gaslit.
I think they've gone through sad, and now they're happy they got hope coming in.
No, like I don't think now they're gaslit to the
I
point
love
where
a good
it's like
gaslit
we're firing
reference.
your coach, but it's like,
Love
when
a
are you
good
gonna do
gaslighting.
it?
Yeah.
Love
like,
it.
But I think
did you
they're
see
happy.
That clip of those 2 guys yelling about we have to fire. You already fired them though. They are now debating. When do we fire the coach that we've already fired?
But they're going to the
I
coaching
like that
buffet with the biggest
gaslighting.
plate.
they are, but like
They're the first one in
they're
line.
thinking like, are we gonna fuck this up?
No, no. LSU fans never think that way. There's
Okay,
a lot of fan bases that do.
You know better
They
than me.
always think the next guy is going to be the best. Always.
but
There's
you know
certain
what,
fan
though?
bases that think.
They're like, this coach is fired, but you still got to see him
There's
every Saturday.
certain fan bases that think negatively,
Like,
certain
what?
that think positively. LSU always thinks the best.
But here's the thing: is I agree with Jack because it's like, okay, we're gonna fire this guy and he's not gonna be here, but you got to stick with him
They're
for the rest
fine.
of the
They're
season.
just- they'll just get through it.
The reason I say Arkansas, and yes, they still believe in Sam Pittman and they've had some big wins, but I think that they were so fucking happy when they beat Texas and beat Texas A&M, and then it's just taken a downward slide. They're probably like, damn, we weren't as good. Missouri has to be up there. They are just
they're
sad
decent.
sack of shit right now.
You know who's sneaky happy?
Ooh.
Tennessee fans are like
Oh,
pleased
yeah.
with where they're at. They're kind of thinking like
South Carolina's got.
it doesn't take much for Tennessee fans to get overly happy.
That's true.
And then Pac-12, I don't know. I guess Oregon's the happiest, and then I guess Arizona's the saddest because Arizona's one of the worst
Oh, I
teams
mean,
in the country.
Arizona is the saddest team in the whole country.
I think I skipped the Big 12. Is anybody happy right now in the Big 12? Like Oklahoma's not exactly ecstatic. Oklahoma State's mad.
Texas is not happy.
Texas is okay. Baylor's probably happy with where they are right now. Baylor's probably real pleased with Aranda. I would say yes.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say they're happy, though.
I think they are. I think Baylor would – like Oklahoma fans are just nervous. They're skittish. Oklahoma State fans are frustrated as they always are. Texas Tech fans now have – they're confused. TCU fans just – I don't know. They wear purple. You can't trust them.
Kansas was happy they almost beat the number 3 team in the country.
And I think that's okay. I think that's
I know,
okay. I think
I
that's a
know.
great way to
I
start
know.
for that program.
The saddest,
Maybe TCU.
I'd say Texas.
Texas is pretty
I don't think Texas is sad. It's still year one of Sark. I
They
think
are
they've seen
sad.
enough where they're okay.
Texas ain't sad.
I
But
think
I
they're
feel like
fine.
they're delusional enough that they're.
Yeah.
They
they're
also,
waiting.
you
I
know
like
what
that,
they've got? They have a firm belief they're getting Arch Manning.
That's
And they
true.
have a firm belief that the Savior's coming.
Texas Tech, maybe they're sad.
Actually, West Virginia fans are
Well, yeah,
kind of
but-
going through it right now, too.
A lot of teams in the Big 12 are kind of down bad.
All right, that was some good college football talk.
That was
We got to
great.
get out of here because Katie and I have a show to do. But we gotta go do that. But good stuff.
See you guys in East Lansing.
I think we'll see him in Lansing. I'm not sure we're in East Lansing.
What?
There's 2 different cities, Lansing and East Lansing. I think we're doing our show in Lansing, but we'll be
They're
there.
2 different cities?
Well,
It's-
one's Lansing,
it's-
one's East Lansing.
It's about a mile from the stadium.
Right.
Lansing is?
No, where we are.
So that means that where is the border between East Lansing and Lansing?
Between us and the stadium, I think.
Huh.
It was like, oh, you're so far. I'm like, yeah, we're not going to get on campus.
But game day and Fox can be on campus?
whatever. We'll still get. Want to be funnier when we get a bigger crowd?
For sure, but I want to make sure I'm understanding the semantics correctly.
Yes, you're correct.
All right.
Oh, you fucking pussies.
That's unnecessary roughness.